Ian's going, you're going to make Chris cry.
Well, what would a tearjerker show be without some tears, Ian?
Your rating on my tearjerker song is making me cry. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. We're so happy that you can all join us right here, right now. If you're watching us live, welcome, everybody. For those of you watching us over on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. For anybody else, welcome. If you're checking us out on the replay or listening wherever you get podcasts, hopefully you all got to check out the little bonus episode that we dropped last week where we did a little, we did our 5-minute song swap. So Amanda and I timed each other. We only did one song each because we dropped an episode during the Memorial Day holiday. We only did one song each, and we timed ourselves and said, we're going to keep it within 5 minutes. And gosh darn it, we did it. I think so.
By the skin of our teeth, though.
Mm-hmm.
Which
literally by the skin of our teeth.
Is that the saying? And what does that mean?
I think it is. Yeah, skin of my teeth.
Like
I don't know.
Skin of your teeth. There's no skin on the teeth.
Yeah. I like Dave Mattingly. Showdown. 6 songs enter, 1 song leaves.
That would be a fun show.
That would be a fun show.
Like the true showdown. Like, all right. Like,
showdown.
Which one? And Ian's been keeping track of our score pretty good through our episodes.
Ian from Australia. Yes.
So now that Ian's kind of into that, we could walk away with a like getting rid of some songs.
We could. We absolutely could.
We'll have to play with that idea.
We'll have to play with that idea. I mean, today too, we're going to start playing with the new idea. We're doing the addition to the game. We're
up in the ante here.
Well, it's something that people have talked to us about before, and we're like, and then it kind of came up again, and and honestly, I will give Ian from Australia some credit here because he's been keeping score. I kind of got us the idea of maybe we should start keeping score as well. So, Ian, you aren't the first person to tell us this, but you're definitely, I'd say, the person to push it over the edge a little.
Agreed.
bit. So thank you, Ian. So yeah, so listen, so if this is your first time checking out Song Swap Showdown, well, once again, we want to welcome you for checking us out and spending some time with us. But how the show typically works is Amanda and I each swap 3 songs with each other. And those songs are ones that we don't think that the other has heard before. At least we try to pick songs that we don't think the others heard before. Now, listen, sometimes the songs are songs we've heard before, but generally we try to pick songs that we don't think the others heard before. And then we rate those songs on an incredibly complicated scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a dumpster fire, like literally toss the match, blow it up, and then all the way up to 5 records, which is, of course, heavenly music to our ears. That's
pretty. So pretty.
On the Eternity playlist, it will go, which, by the way, that will be a future episode.
Absolutely.
The Eternity playlist part 1 will be coming up sooner or later. But yes, 5 records is a song that will never leave our ears. We love it. It makes the Eternity playlist. It is a favorite of ours. So, and then we also try to make this, like, make the shows theme based, right? So you'll notice that as you go through the feed early on, we didn't really have much themes. We just picked 3 songs.
Yes.
We would just swap 3 songs, and that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then we realized that a lot of our community really enjoyed the themes. So we started making more theme-based shows because, listen, we do hear you, audience. We do hear you, community, and you like the themes. So we have been going on with the themes now, I'd say, since
January?
Yeah, January, I'd say we officially started saying, let's start doing theme-based shows. And so everybody really enjoys them. So thank you. Thank you for continuing to listen, and thank you for continuing to support the show. We appreciate you. So today's theme, Amanda Sharp, which I know I threw it for, I threw you for a loop this week because we did have another theme all planned and ready to go, which will be coming. That'll probably be next week's theme.
Yes.
We pushed it.
Yes.
But this week, we are focusing on tear jerker songs. right? So we're doing our top 10. And you must have been, I hit Amanda up, I think, with this on like either Friday or Saturday
morning.
And I was like, hey, I'm thinking about changing the theme. What do you think of tearjerker songs? I can only imagine what your reaction was.
Well, I was in Kroger because you sent it to me pretty early. And I went to Kroger at like 7:00. Right. And so I'm just Krogering and the message comes through and Chris starts it. All right, so hear me out, Amanda. And I know this is last minute because at this point we've already kind of mostly had our songs picked out for this week's other theme.
Yes.
And he's like, I think this is what we should do. And who am I to deny Chris when he never denies I? So I was like, oh, no problem. We got this. Great theme. So to Dave's point, he says today's songs are ranked on 1 to 5 tiers. Mm-hmm. And that is a good ranking system. So, just full warning, when I'm ranking these songs, I'm ranking them based on emotion, not just if I like the song.
It's a good criteria. Yeah, absolutely.
This episode only.
This episode only.
Yes.
Well, I agree. I mean, I think that listen, when we talk about tearjerker songs, I think there's a lot of things that come into play. So I will say, where did the idea come from to change the theme here in the final minutes? Well, over the weekend, not final minutes, but over the weekend.
Yes.
Basically, I don't know. Well, we talked about this, but I didn't even realize that you didn't watch the show. But this happened because last week was, at the time of this recording, less than a week ago, was the airing of the finale of the show Ted Lasso on Apple Plus. So for those of you who have been sticking in there and watching it through this third season and maybe the final season, there hasn't been any official confirmation as to whether this is the final season of Ted Lasso, but I'll tell you, the episode sure felt like that. It sure felt like a series finale for sure. But don't worry, everybody. There's no spoilers. I'm giving away no spoilers on this if you haven't watched it yet. But that episode, I'll tell you, because season 3 for me and my wife was very like, I don't know, I felt like the show went off the rails a bit. Then it kind of came back, and then it finished strong. And the finale for me personally, I thought it was an awesome series finale. However, the last song that they used to kind of end the show, which was great, I thought they did it masterfully, was they used Cat Stevens' Father and Son, which is one of my favorite Cat Stevens songs. And seeing how they used it and having it set to all the end images of the show, definitely it made me well up. I had a tear to my eye. They did it really well. And that was where I got the idea to do, you know what? We should do a tearjerker show. Like those songs that bring a tear to your eye, whether you saw them in a movie, whether they a show, or they just naturally, sort of bring that, make your eyes well up a little bit. I thought would be a good one to talk about today, because that's not one that we've ever really done before. So.
No, and
was good.
I will say part of my rating is not just if I'm hearing the song, it's envisioning it with that type of movie or TV show type atmosphere where they're playing it, showing images and stuff, because that makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
When you're putting it to something like that, it's going to create tears. So I kind of envision these songs playing in certain kind of moments within a TV show or movie, and that's what helps my rating as well.
Yeah, so Ian's checking in my son's favorite show, Ted Lasso. Now,
all right. I'm just going to say this out loud.
Make the confession, because you told me and I was, what?
All right, 2 confessions then. I have 2 confessions. So one, I've never watched Ted Lasso, ever.
Which blows me away because it's so up your alley.
That's what our good friend Sid Meadows was like, Amanda, you've got to watch the show. Like it was when it first came out. He's like, it's so good. And I just still have it. So it's been recommended. I'll definitely do it when I have that time to binge watch it. And then second confession is, Ian, I don't know why, but I did not think you were old enough to have a son yet. Just based, I don't know, like in my head, because your icon, your picture is just an eye. So I'm like, he's like this 20-year-old baby.
Making broad assumptions about our community.
I did. I was like, he's so cool. He's got to be young.
He's so cool.
And now he has a son.
Dave, I agree with you. Dave Mattingly saying Father and Son was also well placed in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Yondu's Funeral. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It is one of those songs that really hits. The lyrics are great. And we actually posted a little video on our IG and YouTube and TikTok about some facts about Father and Son because it was actually cool, which was written for a musical that Cat Stevens was working on about the Russian Revolution, believe it or not. So it's part of the story. Anyway, it's a very interesting creation of that song. So I highly urge you go and check. I'll probably post the little thing from songfacts.com, which is great.
Sure.
They're awesome, but they have a really good blurb about the creation of that song. I'll post it in our Facebook group. So this is how this show theme came about. Thank you, Ted Lasso,
Thank you.
for inspiring today's show. So hey, let us know in the comments as we go. For those of you watching live, let us know what you think today as we go along with our song ratings to the 6 songs that we have chosen today to be our top tier jerker songs, which is always so difficult. It's when we say the word top, though, it's like there are top songs, but honestly, there's probably another like 30 or 40 behind those. So it's always so hard to narrow down to 3. But hey, we don't want the show already runs long enough as it is. And Amanda and I could do this all day, by the way, just so everybody knows, we could do this all day.
And given we have enough sponsors, we would.
That is correct. That is correct.
So challenge accepted.
Yes, exactly. So, so listen, let's dive into it.
Okay.
Let's get the show started. Let's talk about our music. And on top of that, the little addition we're going to start doing though, which I alluded to at the top, was that not only will we be swapping the songs and rating them on a scale of 1 to 5 records, but by the end, we're going to tally up those record scores and see whose playlist reigns supreme and has bragging rights for the week.
And listen, we need you guys to keep track too, because math is not our skill.
Because we're terrible at math.
We're scrambling for things to write with.
I'm like, wait, I already realized I forgot my pen and my paper. Like we talked about doing this, and I already forgot my pen and paper to keep track.
We need our community to make sure that our mathing adds up to the right winner.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Keep us honest.
Keep us honest is right. All right. So I'm just going to dive in with your first pick.
All right. Go for it. Dive in with my first pick.
Fix You by Coldplay. So really, really enjoyed the pace of this song, the cadence of this song. It almost felt, and I'm not putting it in the same category as him, but like when Johnny Cash does his songs, how there's like a cadence and a storytelling to it, 2 total different approaches, but it kind of captivated me in that same way. So I really enjoyed listening to it. I don't believe I had heard it before.
I was just going to ask you, had you heard this song when it was originally released?
I don't believe I have. And if I had, it kind of fell on, ears that weren't really like paying attention to it because it's not an offensive song. It's not a catchy song. It's just a song that's kind of there. And unless you're truly like listening to it to digest it, it can easily just go through my brain.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed and you know what? If you would have just sent this to me another week, I don't know if I would have been listening to it with the same ears of sadness. But I do enjoy the words. There's like the verse or the chorus. I think it's probably the chorus where it's "Lice will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you."
That is my favorite line of the song. I love it. Yeah.
Like so powerful. And so this week I did a little deep dive into each and every song on both of our lists because I wanted to me, that was important in my meter of rating. And so while I listened to this song, and it did not make me cry. Okay. I really am visual when I cry. Like I need to see something to cry about.
Right.
I can cry like on demand. It's really pathetic. It's great for my marriage.
I was just going to say,
Poor Marcus. I feel like we say poor Marcus every single episode.
I feel like we need to do a compilation of poor Marcus. Like just every time you say poor, it's just a whole comp of poor Marcus.
Poor Marcus.
I can't wait to come out there and hang out with Marcus.
And just like, you poor man.
Just gonna go, Marcus, just lay it on me, brother.
Just here's your therapy.
Lay it on me.
Lay it on. So I did deep dive into each one of these. And then and of course, I'm sure you're going to go into it a little bit more, but this song was written when Gwyneth Paltrow's dad had passed away.
Yep.
And I thought, what an interesting... I mean, when you listen to it, it all makes sense. But I thought, like, what a nice tribute to her to honor that moment in that season of her grief and put it into words and make a song about it. And I can't say that I've ever had a song written about me to know if that helps me through that season. I'm willing to try. Doesn't have to be just grief. It can be a happy song, anything.
Right.
But I thought
you just want a song really written about you.
Absolutely. Maybe there already has been, and I just have no clue.
This is true.
This is true. So so when you heard this song first, how did it touch you that you were like, this is a tearjerker to me?
So this song, so I'd say the first few Coldplay records, I think are just incredible records. I first got into Coldplay when Yellow came out, which was their first full record. And that song I love with him walking on the beach. And I absolutely adore that song. I think it's great. And so when this record came out, I really dug this record. And this song, it's when I listened to this record for the first time, like I bought it. This wasn't even released as a single yet. I bought the record and this song just stood out to me right away on it. And I just thought that, and it just really hit me. I love the line that we just talked about, the lights will guide you home and ignite your bones and I will try to fix. I just think that there's such a great lyric there, you know? And then I love how the song kicks in. Like it's kind of like this, like one, like, you know, building up to something, and then finally it does that, and it's like gets like loud, and it's just I feel like it's just a very emotional song for me. I get the theme of it, and I understand it, and I feel like too that, you know, while it was written to help her, you know, get over the loss of her father, I feel like these lyrics very much fit into almost any kind of thing that you're going through in life. And I think that just that line too, like, I will try to fix you. You know, I mean, I know myself personally is something that I've tried to help friends who are going through different things, family members, all that, to help fix them in any way that I can, even knowing some, like, sometimes there's situations you can't do much other than just be there, you know? So I get the sentiment of the song, and I, you know, it hits me hard with this one sometimes. And I saw them do this live, and when I saw them do it live, I just kind of like lost it. So I connect with this song. I think it's a great song. I love the theme of it. And so that's why it made my list of top tearjerker songs for sure. Okay. So it's a very listen, and this is what we're all talking about, right? Emotional songs. And and when I think back to like watching Ted Lasso and them using father and son during the wrapping that up, I was like, wow, it works great. And while I don't know if this song's really been used in I'm sure it's probably been used in something. I don't know if it is, but I can definitely see it being used.
Same.
In a film or show. I don't know if it has been. And if it has, I haven't seen it. So, but yeah, that's why I dig this song. That's why it makes my list of top tearjerker tunes. And I think this is the thing with the connection, right? So while you heard it and it was like, I don't know, I'm not really tearing up or welling up on it. It's right. It's the emotional connection of things. So now it's up to you, Amanda, to look at it objectively and say, is it qualify as a tearjerker song?
If it were applied to the right scene within a TV show and a movie, there is no doubt that I would have tears in my eyes. Or a TikTok. Let's add TikTok.
Or a TikTok.
TikTok.
Well, you know what? You're right. There's a lot of emotional TikToks, man.
Oh my gosh. Every morning and every night I'm sobbing because I'm on that side of TikTok. So I could see this definitely being a song on that. So where do I put this? I really like this song. I like it just as a song, like in general. And then add it as that tearjerker element to the right movie. I'm coming in at 4.8, Chris Baglio.
4.8. Wow. That's
4.8.
This part of the song, man. That tear stream down your face. Oh. That hits, man. Oh.
It's hard for me to see people crying.
That hits.
Anyone, because if I see you cry, I want to cry.
Right. Now, I know, and I think there's something very human about that, right? You know, I think that's a human connection we all kind of share. If you have a heart,
it's true.
Yeah. If you're not dead inside, it's it's a thing that kind of connects most humans. Yeah.
This is true. This is true. So 4.8. I feel very confident about that, and I feel it deserves that.
All right, good. Well, thank you for the 4.8. So I'm on the scoreboard at a 4.8 on this. So
I need a separate piece of paper too.
The comments are going nuts by the way. So why don't we go with some of the comments here before we move on to your next song. So, all right. So Ian checked in very early on, but I wanted to get to it because he dropped some good recommendations here. None of which I've heard, Ian, by the way. But thank you for recommending them because I will check them out. But it says, Ian, from your Australian correspondent, I was only 19 by Red Gum. Took the Children Away by Archie Roach, and The Day You Went Away by Wendy Matthews. I've cried to all three today. Well, thank you, Ian, for sharing. Appreciate it. Those are great recommendations, and I will check them out. And Dave Mattingly checking in with my tearjerker recommendation is, good one. Elliott Smith's Sweet Adeline, waiting for sedation to disconnect my head or any situation where I'm better off. That song is great. Ooh. Sweet Adeline, Elliott Smith. That one. Oh, you got to check out some Elliott Smith. Yeah. It's great. Oh my gosh, look at all these comments coming in here right now. Let's see. I showed this before. Johnny Cash version of "Hurt" is great, and we've done that one here before in the show. Actually, Amanda, I think you sent me that. Yeah.
You know what's really hard?
I gave you the original version, which you hadn't even heard the original version, but you'd only heard the Johnny Cash version.
And the thing is, I wanted Her to be on my list, Whiskey Lullaby to be on my list, and Mad World, but we've already featured.
We've done all those.
It was really hard because some of my ones that I wanted were already on a list. I was like, all right, dig deeper, Amanda. We got this.
Yeah, dig deeper. So Curious Idealist checking in when she's gonna cry, then I'm gonna crazy, and then we're all gonna cry. Amanda, you're making the math harder.
That's why we need you to help.
And my tearjerker recommendation is How Can I Help You Say Goodbye by Patty Loveless. Well, spoiler alert, that is coming up.
Wow.
Spoiler alert, that is coming up on the show. All right. So let's keep the show moving along. And your tune to me was Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain by Willie Nelson. I had never heard this song before.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious, Amanda.
I thought every single one you may have heard.
I'd only heard 2 out of the 3 songs that you sent me.
I threw my pencil down
this week.
I'm shocked. I was like, well, this is just going to be one of those weeks. Your pencil down. I was like,
yeah. No, I'd never heard this song before. I listened to it quite a few times since you sent it to me, but I had not heard this song before. So this was a new experience for me. But talk about a cinematic song. And what I really liked about Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain was that it's a very simple song. It's not even that long. It's just over 2 minutes. But I feel like that we talked about visual, right? And I immediately saw about 100 different films and TV shows in my head that could have ended with this, or even just this song appearing over different scenes in films and TV and all that. So it really painted a strong visual for me right away. I really liked the song. I mean, I really liked it a lot. I thought the lyrics were great. And then when I looked at the history of the song, it's a fascinating history. So first of all, this came off of Willie Nelson's concept record, actually, which is Red-Headed Stranger in 1975.
What a name.
I know. Which I would have been 1 year old when this came out.
1 year old.
1 year old, baby Chris. But according to songfacts.com, the song is about the singer kisses his love goodbye, knowing he'll never see her again. As he sings it, he's now an old man who never found true love again and looks forward to meeting her in heaven. So that's that. I know, right? And that sounds like a synopsis for a film.
Yes.
It sounds like a film. Basically, he was, as it goes on, he said, Willie Nelson said, singing the song night after night took an emotional toll on him. And he was a notorious drinker back in the late 70s, for sure. He explained in a Hot Press interview, it's really difficult to sing Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain or Always on My Mind without getting emotionally involved, especially when the audience gets emotionally involved and you feel their feelings. You can only wallow in your own misery for so long without saying, wait a minute, I want a drink. So even though Willie Nelson is, well known as a songwriter, this is a song he did not write. It was composed by Fred Rose, whose country hits includes Crazy Heart, Don't Bring Me Posies, Take These Chains from My Heart, and Ka Liga. I don't know that one. I don't know either. Anyway, Roy Acuff, who was Rose's partner in music publishing company Acuff Music, was first to record the song, releasing this as a single in 1947, and credited to Roy Acuff and his Smoky Mountain Boys. In ensuing years, many artists recorded the song, including Roger Whittaker, Gene Vincent, and Slim Whitman. And Willie Nelson recorded this version of the song for his concept record, Red-Headed Stranger, which is based off of the same name, written by Carl Stutz and Edith Lindman, and recorded by Arthur Guitar Boogie Smith. In that song, a mysterious writer comes to town leading a horse that belonged to his dead lover. Nelson revised the tale to make the stranger a preacher who killed his lover because she was cheating on him. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain fit the concept album as it finds a stranger thinking back to his lost love. So, story time. But so, reading all that though, I was like, wow, I didn't know about this record. I'm like, I kind of want to hear this whole record now. I'm like, so we're talking about, right, storytelling, cinema, like this, it's a concept record, like probably could have changed this whole record into a film itself. Yeah. The song being like over that pivotal moment or the end and all that kind of thing. So I really enjoyed this song, Amanda. I really did. I thought it was super cool. And I loved just the basicness of the song. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was just didn't need to be overproduced. And not a lot of Willie stuff is ever overproduced, but there's something about the quality of Willie's voice and just guitar and just how it's very stripped down sounding. I really dug. So let's just listen to a little quick bit of Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain if you've never heard this song before.
In twilight glow I see.
I could see this like at the end of the movie. Like,
yep. Someone just sitting by themselves.
Right. Or that montage where things are wrapping up.
Yes. Oh, there's so many possibilities. Like it just goes through my head.
When we kissed goodbye and part.
So you can hear it, like it talks about the emotion and all that. Like you can hear it. So I really, like I said, I really like the song. So where do I rate this, right? So did it bring a tear to my eye? I wouldn't say it brought a tear to my eye, but I emotionally connected with the song in the lyrics in it.
I like how you said that. Yeah.
And I like that, I could see it. Like, you could see it like on so many, especially, like some of the classic Westerns. I mean, it's hard to not think about some of the classic Western stuff, like a Clint Eastwood kind of walking away type of walking away. Yeah. Like I probably could have seen this like in The Unforgiven or something like that, which is a great movie. So where do I rank this? So having never heard this song before and being like kind of struck by it fast, I would give it a 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4.5. It's almost near perfect for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know what's keeping me from making it perfect. And it's not because I don't want you to win the competition, by the way. Right away, I heard it and I just felt like, wow, it's a really well done song. Mm-hmm. I give it a 4.5.
I like that.
Would it make the Eternity playlist? I don't know. I don't know if it would make the Eternity playlist, but it's up there, man. It's a 4.5 for me.
I like that. I accept that. Yeah. I accept that. And we got some comments coming in.
So many comments. All right. All right. So first of all, Ian's reacting with Chris, you can't be serious. It's a classic.
This is like 3 episodes in a row now that you're like, I can't believe I don't know that song.
You're flipping it. You're flipping the storyline here. Older than you, Chris. All right. So Ian's older than me. Oh, and Chris leads by 0.3. Thank you for doing the math, Ian.
That is helpful. In real-time updates.
Yeah. Real-time updates.
I like it. it. So Chris's next song to me, in all of my life, I have been listening to Landslide by Fleetwood Mac my entire life. My mom used to listen to it in the car. I love Fleetwood Mac. I love Stevie Nicks.
There's right there with you.
Oh my gosh. I feel her. And you know what? I don't even love the tone of her voice, but I love the tone of her voice.
Oh, really?
It's so like when you just listen to it, you're like, I personally should not like that sound, but I do. I love it and I'm captivated. And so my entire life I've heard this song. And so I was so immune to, I think, the emotion behind it, just because I sang it and I loved it so much. I don't even think I ever took time to really digest the lyrics. And the Dixie Chicks have did a version of this. Yes. And I was just as guilty.
Have done one too,
So I was just as guilty when I listened to their versions of just enjoying the song Landslide. And so I had to put on different ears to digest it as a tearjerker, which meant I needed a Google machine.
Yeah.
Why was this in Chris's list to me as a tearjerker? And I did find it interesting, the story behind it, but I don't know that it was like a super emotional story. So Chris, explain to me why, because I looked at it as like a optimistic, you can do it type of story behind this song, but clearly you have a different like thought about it.
Well, I think it's not so much of a sad song, but it's just it's a very emotional song. And honestly, I would say being the father of 2 daughters,
sure,
it hits even harder. So like I've grown up with this song like you, listening to Fleetwood Mac, and just, it's Fleetwood Mac's one of my favorite bands. And this song has always been just a favorite of mine. And I think because it's about a father-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
And I love that there's that, it is a positive song, but just to be a tearjerker doesn't mean it has to be like a sad song in that sense. Like it doesn't have to deal with grief but it could just be super emotional. Right. And so I find this song to be very, very emotional. I think as a dad with 2 daughters, it hits a lot harder now for me when I hear it.
At the same age, I would probably argue she would have been when she was kind of writing this song. That's where your girls are, because I thought it was so special. Well, one, she wrote the song in 5 minutes on her guitar, which always blows my mind. As we've discussed a million times, some of the best songs were effortlessly done and just came to be amazing. And it was her dad encouraged her like, hey, give it 6 months to figure this out. Yeah. And if not, go to college. We'll work it out. We'll do it.
Right.
And she ended up becoming a member of Fleetwood Mac within 3 months, beating her goal by 3 months.
Yeah.
And I just thought, when I read that, I'm like, oh my gosh, what an inspiration that the dad believed in her so much that he allowed her that season to figure it out and make it happen, but gave like a healthy guideline, like, hey, like, let's have a backup. So like, no worries. If it doesn't work out, something else is going to work out. And I just really loved that, because that's how I feel like I am with Owen. Like there's no risk not worth taking.
I agree 100%. And so I feel like that this song has a great message behind it. And like I said, I emotionally connect with the song on multiple levels, I would say.
That's sweet.
And I think like this song grows as you do get older, because it talks about that, like I think what it meant for me in my younger days when I heard it, before I was a husband and a father, and now as a dad, like who has girls, one of them being like pretty much the same age as Stevie Nicks was when this song was written, to your point. Yeah, it does. It changes and grows with you, and this song has. And so yeah, it's become it's a staple for me. It's a perfect song in my book. But it's a beautiful song. And yeah, it brings a tear to my eye most times when I do hear it. It just does.
That is so interesting, because it doesn't bring a tear to my eye. Like, it really doesn't. But so let's go into, I'm going to be a little harder on my ranking on this one.
Okay.
Why? Because if this was just a regular show, I'm rating this a little bit differently. But since we're doing that, this is a tearjerker.
All right.
Your tears, your emotions. I'm going to put this in, and don't come at me, everyone.
Uh-oh.
But I'm going to put this in like at a 3.5, because I can't see it being used in a movie in my head or a TV show that would make me cry.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. Or even a TikTok.
It was in Glee, by the way.
Which I'm sure they did an excellent rendition of it. So I don't mean to put 3.5 down, but I want to be clear. If this was a regular show, this would be a 5 record. But this is a tearjerker show, so it's getting 3.5 tears.
Okay.
Sorry.
Interesting.
I know. I'm sorry, but I feel guilty. Like, I don't know what to say. All right. So
No, but
listeners,
3.5 is still
viewers, are you on the same thought process as me, or are you agreeing with Chris? Is Landslide by Fleetwood Mac a tearjerker or just an overall great song? But is it a tearjerker?
All right.
Let us know in the comments.
All right. Stay mad and say another favorite tearjerker is rocker Simon F's Here Comes My Laugh. We're going down because you're as much as I can take. Oh, I'm still waiting. Gotcha.
I need to look at that one.
All right. Ian, Stevie Nicks once arrived at a venue in Australia where she was performing, and the venue staff were told to pretend they were airport staff because she thought she was still at the airport. That I can believe. That back in the days when she was, partaking. Yeah. Ian's going, you're going to make Chris cry.
Well, what would a tearjerker show be without some tears, Ian?
Your rating on my tearjerker song is making me cry.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. All right. Okay. Well, listen, we agree to disagree.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
You just want to win. You just want to win. Now that we added a competition part of it, you just want to win.
I said a traditional show with a 5 records.
I know, I'm kidding, but not really.
and just so it doesn't go without being noticed, my second song was I would have probably not remembered it, but it was a community suggestion in our Facebook group.
It was a community suggestion.
And that's how it ended up on my list. And then also Angel is suggesting it here in the comments. Right. So I'm not the only one thinking that this is a great song.
No, you're right. Okay. Well, before we get into your second song, we're going to take a super quick break, and we're going to talk about our friends over at campsite.bio, right? So campsite.bio, we love campsite.bio. They've been a sponsor of the show, a longtime sponsor of the show now, almost a full year. Amanda Sharp, campsite.bio has been a sponsor of the show. We're coming up on it. They've been so good
to us.
They've been so great, and we absolutely love them. And, if you visit us on any of our social accounts, especially over on our Instagram account, you may notice the little link that we have in our bio. And listen, Instagram, you can do up to like 4 or 5 links right now. And we've got some other links, but the campsite.bio link is the one special because we have access. It gives us access to all the different places where you can check out the show. You can check out any ways to support us. You can go to our website. You can visit our other social accounts that way. You can leave us a tip if you want. You can sign up for our mailing list. There's all kinds of things that we have on our campsite.bio. But for you, for our viewers, your campsite.bio link can house pretty much any link that you want. So links to your store, right? Links to your shows, links to your YouTube channel, links to they even have this cool thing now I saw where you could actually have your Instagram feed tiled in. It pulls your feed into your campsite.bio, and you could actually have a little grid of your Instagram posts. Yes, very cool. So listen, am I going to say this could take the place of your website? You should have a website, but if you don't have a website, like Amanda Sharp doesn't have a website. Her campsite.bio acts as a pretty decent website because it gets
really
you to
does.
all the places you got to go, like
Yeah.
where you want people to go.
It's true. We all know getting a website up and running and consistently maintaining it, whether it be in blog or content in a different form, it is a lot of work. And so while I just don't have the bandwidth to do that right now, I can easily nestle and settle on having the campsite.bio be my website and all the places that I need to put it. And I'm not losing out on anything. So I absolutely love the ease that just having that as an opportunity does.
It's absolutely right. And Amanda Sharp's a viral TikTok star, so that campsite.bio comes in super duper handy when everybody's hitting up her link in bio. So listen, campsite.bio, if you don't take our word for it, download it for free right now. Go to the link in our notes, download it for free. And if you dig it, if you like it, well, guess what? There is a really cool little code that you can use that gets you $10 off when you sign up for a pro plan. And the pro plan gets you access to all kinds of integrations, all kinds of back end stuff with as far as marketing goes and getting you data and analytics. So listen, sign up for it. Join over 250,000 other creators, agencies, and brands already on campsite.bio. Stay in control of your branding to create the bio link that matches you. The possibilities are endless with their profile customization features. Get campsite.bio, create your space on the web and convert more followers into customers with this amazing link in bio tool created just for you. Download it for free, test drive it. You're going to love it. Sign up for the pro plan. Use that coupon code. Make it yours. Campsite.bio.
Pencil drop.
Done.
Nicely done.
Thank you. All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Here we are.
For your song number two, which is Patty Loveless's How Can I Help You Say Goodbye? Song recommended by the community, including in today's chat.
Yep. Miss Angel, the Curious Idealist.
Recommending this song. This is Amanda's second pick. So I listened to the song several times.
Now I see where it was going.
I listened to this song. I had not heard this song before, so full disclosure, first time hearing this song was when you gave it to me. I don't know if that's shocking to everybody, but
this one not so much as the first.
Yeah. So what I liked about this song was the story behind it more than the song itself, which
I can respect.
So I thought the story was actually pretty interesting how that and then turned into the song. So according to classiccountrymusic.com, basically what they're saying is the song was inspired when actor Burton Collins was visiting his ill grandmother. She said something that really spoke to him. She asked him, "How can I help you say goodbye?" shortly before her 1988 death, and held on to it many years. Basically, they turned that phrase into a song. He was introduced to singer-songwriter Karen Taylor Good, who is best known for her top 40 single, Diamond in the Rough, in 1982. Together, they wrote music and lyrics to accompany Collins' grandmother's words, what they used as a title of the song, How Can I Help You Say Goodbye? So already I'm just like, I love that was something his grandmother had said to him as she was passing away. And he held on to it and turned it into like music. I think that is a very good gift to give, that his grandmother gave to him to give to the rest of the world. So, but basically, if you've never heard the song itself follows a young woman and three monumental losses she experiences throughout her life. First, as a child, the narrator moves away from her best friend, which I totally can relate with. Next, she and her husband decide to separate. And lastly, her mother passes away late in adulthood. While the narrator is mourning each loss, her mother asks her, "How can I help you say goodbye? It's okay to hurt and it's okay to cry. Come, let me hold you and I will try. How can I help you say goodbye?" So country singer Patty Loveless included on her How Can I Help You Say Goodbye? How Can I Help You Say Goodbye on her 1993 album, Only What I Feel, and the album achieved gold status. Radio stations were requesting Loveless's record label that they release the song as a single because they just started playing it. And in March 1994, they actually did. It climbed up the charts, reaching the number 3 in June of that year. The song was so well received that it was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Female Country Vocal Performance and Best Country Song. The music video was also nominated for Video of the Year at the CMAs and the AMAs. So, truly a very popular song that I'd never heard before.
You're almost like the astonishment when you're having to read like its credentials is almost like nauseating to you. I feel like
it's not nauseating to me. I find, but it's like, but this is like, see, I know how you feel. But I'm like, Amanda, how have you not heard this song? Like, it's won all these awards. It was everywhere. It was in every blah, 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 blah. And you're like, I don't know. I've never heard it. So I'm reading this and I'm like, this song's won all kinds of credentials and like achieved all these amazing things. And the story behind it is beautiful. And it's like, I've just never heard it before until like literally like this weekend. So
Saturday.
Saturday. So, so as I said, I love the story of the song much more than I like the song itself. I do find the lyrics and the storytelling part of the song. So the core of the song, I think, is really well done. But you know me, I'm not a giant country fan, but
twangy.
And I've been very open to tons of country. Like, let's just remind everybody, I did score Willie Nelson a 4.5 at the start of the show. So just because it's country doesn't make it knocked down on my side. I think it takes me a little bit more sometimes to warm up to it. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely a fan of some of the older school country stuff because I just, a lot of stuff I grew up listening to with my grandfather and all that. However, this song, I understand the emotional connection to it. And there are parts of the song, like I said, the whole best friend part I can connect with. However, I didn't know I necessarily liked the song itself, if that makes sense.
It does.
Or the music of the song. I felt it was a little like, oh, man, this is gonna be a very unpopular opinion.
Say it. Go ahead. It's okay.
I felt the song was not, I don't know. It was not an emotional rendition of the song. I don't know. I just didn't like the.
Okay. All right. Let's digest this.
I don't know. Here, let me play a little clip of it. Just
all right.
Like she's Patty Loveless, great voice.
Life's about change.
I felt very like felt like a very straight line for me.
Okay, so you are feeling like the delivery of that story is incorrect.
I don't know. It just felt
the
a little.
Emotion isn't. It's flatlined to you. Okay.
Yeah. See, and I want to say because I want it on the record. I don't think Patty Loveless is an untalented. None of that is being said, because I can't carry a tune for the life of me. But I'm just saying that I had a hard time connecting with her rendition of the song.
All right, so
it wasn't a favorite.
You know when you can't unhear certain things. Now that you say that, I can't unhear that, and I would have to agree with you.
Wow!
I truly, when you say that, now that I used to sing it when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, I can karaoke this song really good. But because of that very statement, I don't think the portrayal and the storytelling aspect of it was hit then. I do think who would be a good person to have sung this? And you think that can actually get that emotion out? It needed to be a little bit more folky, maybe.
Maybe it's just a little over, how I am with the production of things. Like sometimes I feel like some things are a little too overproduced, and but I also understand the time that the song was done, and it fits in. It fits in.
It does
for the time when this was recorded, which was in the early '90s. In early '90s country, kind of sounds a lot like this.
Yeah, fit it. You would have, if I played this for you, you would have said early 90s. I know your ear would have thought that.
And so maybe in that way of things, maybe hearing the song back then as opposed to now, so maybe that song hasn't aged well. Maybe I don't know. I
think you're hitting it on the head when you're saying I don't feel like the cleanliness, the perfectness of the song necessarily matches up with the message the story that's being told. I don't disagree with you now that you say those words out loud.
So I think about so many like female singers, like once again, this isn't a cut on Patty Loveless, by the way. This is just me
No,
talking
no,
about
no,
the
no.
performance of the recorded performance version of the
Of course.
song just doesn't hit. But like when I hear like even Stevie next to Landslide, or I hear like, you know, Chris Martin sing Fix You, like, I don't know. I'm not saying she doesn't feel it. I feel like that even Willie Nelson, like I feel like the emotion is carrying through in their voice in the recording, and you're there with them. I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm just saying that my personal interpretation, I didn't feel that from this in this song, which has a very emotional lyrics, by the way, and it tells a story that I'd say that about 100% of the people on this planet can connect with.
Agreed.
Because at some point we're all going to experience parts of this story. It's life, right? So
absolutely.
we're all going to be going through this at some point. So it's and some of us have already gone through most of these things, if not all of them already. So listen, it's the story of life, and I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't the performance of this song, or the recording of this song, this version of the song. Let me break it down. Didn't do it for me.
You know,
this version.
It needed more of that Sarah McLachlan sound. You know, that
just something a little like more, maybe a little more stripped down. I don't know. It's so many different things.
I'm feeling it.
So with all that taken into account, it was hard for me to get invested in the song, even though I do like the story, and then digging into it and finding out the creation of it, like really, I love that. It's a beautiful, I think it's a really beautiful thing to be able to share that with people and then write a song about it, and and it becomes a hit. Huge hit, which is great.
Absolutely.
But because of those things, it pulls it, because the version of this song, it pulls it down for me in the ratings. So is it a 2? No. Is it a 3? It might be a 3, but I do like the story surrounding it too, and I do like the lyrics of the song, so that I can connect with. So for all those things, I would give it a 3.2.
A little more generous than I thought.
Because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to, I probably won't listen to this song again.
Understood.
But I do like I said, the things that I do connect with are the lyrics. And I can't like say, oh my God, the song's a 2, because like I like the lyrics of the song. I like the story of it. And I think it comes from a great place. And then after reading about it, you know, which also kind of influenced it. Maybe I would have just given it a 2 if I didn't know the whole backstory behind it, but the backstory and all that kind of boosted it up a little bit, which I don't know. Maybe I should just give it a 2. Now I'm going to keep it at a 3.2. 3.2.
Okay.
All right. So Curious Ideas. It makes me cry every time, mostly because of the personal connection I have to it. My mom played for, sang it me many times in the last couple of years of her life. See, and this is why music and art is so subjective, right? And this is a great example of it. And so thank you for sharing that. That's great. It's wonderful. I'm glad you have that memory. That is a great gift to have. And
when she came in when I hear, when I hear
her, and I respect that. Thanks for sharing that. I
think that's probably true for a lot of people. They're hearing the story and immediately they're lost in the moment of who they're thinking of during this song.
100%.
So I think, and that's probably maybe where my mind goes when I hear it. Although
it's fine, because that's what music does for us.
And although I can't relate to any of those things yet.
Yeah.
So I still could feel the pain in that storytelling of having to say, tell a friend goodbye or going through a separation. And at one point, I will lose my parents and stuff. So that is, all right. I respect the 3.2, and I hear what you're saying when you're saying it's missing the.
And this is this is for me, in my opinion, of my experience, by the way. So this is, and this is a music rating show. So that's what we're basing this on.
Okay.
That's what I'm basing it on. So, and by the way, I'm 0.6 behind Amanda, still a tight contest. Thank you, Ian, for keeping us honest.
All right. So Chris is in the lead.
All right.
I have 0.6. All right. Your last and final song to me is Drugs Don't Work by The Verve.
Okay.
The Verve.
The Verve. The British band The Verve.
We've done another song from them before, right? What
Yes,
song
we
was
have.
it?
We did. I think we did Sonnet or
I should have
Bittersweet
looked.
Symphony.
But I was
Maybe
like, no, I
Bittersweet
know,
Symphony.
I know them.
One of my favorite bands.
So I like this song. I feel like it's very, very, very relatable. And you can just apply it to whatever the drug is for you. It doesn't have to actually be like an actual physical drug. In my opinion, when I'm listening to it, I feel like it could be my obsession with anything
That's the point.
or my addiction with anything.
Yeah.
So, because I've never done drugs in my life.
Good for you.
I said no to drugs. Listen, I
You
knew I
listened
would
to
love
Nancy
it.
Reagan and you just said no.
I'm a product of the 80s. I had the Dare shirt, say no to drugs. We
Yeah.
signed the piece of paper and I took it very literally.
Yes. You signed the contract, the covenant, and you had the Dare shirt.
And I had the Dare shirt. It sealed the deal. I gotta be interested to see what the statistic behind that is. How many people actually took it seriously. I don't think very many.
Probably not.
But I did. But with that being said, I'm a very addictive person. I just didn't
Mhm.
choose the drugs. So when I'm listening to this, I'm like, I understand this song.
Right.
And when I did a little digging into the history behind the song, I thought it was very interesting because there is the meaning of the song that the artist basically is saying.
Yep.
And he stopped talking about it because it came into such a personal interpretation from the listeners.
Mhm.
He didn't want to taint
Right.
what it was. He wanted to allow that connection with his listeners. And I thought that was very interesting, very wise.
It is very wise. I do feel like that.
That was a wise.
I read the same thing too, which I didn't even know that when I was reading up on it too. I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting, Richard Ashcroft.
Yeah. I wonder who told him to do that? If it was instinct or someone said, hey, buttoned up.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I mean, it could have been him. I mean, he's a pretty introspective guy.
Mm-hmm. So when you heard this, I'm going to put this into the same category.
Okay.
I don't want to say Landslide because, I don't know, kind of like the first one too. If I was just listening to this for a regular show, I'm not necessarily feeling tearjerker-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, convince me, where are the tears?
Where the tears come.
Where the
I mean,
tears
I once again, I think it's for me, I feel like that it's one of these songs where, like you said, the drugs kind of aren't necessarily drugs, just more of the interpretation of insert here.
Yeah.
But I also understand that, and it's you go through things in life and it feels like no matter what you do to sort of feel better or things like that, that just seems like nothing works at times. And so it doesn't really dull the emotion. It just sort of always feels sharp and all that. And so I kind of look at it like that. And, I've been through things like that in life where it's you've got just this heavy emotional stuff going on, whether it's depression and, and that's a thing you hear from a lot of people is that, and, I went through my bouts with that depression and you feel like that no matter what you do, it just doesn't work, and why do I feel this way? And so when I hear this song, it kind of, when I heard it initially back in the day, I had that feeling. So I connect with it on a much deeper level of knowing that there's certain things that you feel like that no matter what you do, it doesn't help, and that, and sometimes it's and how this song even talks about it. I love that. There's a lyric in here that I absolutely love. Let me pull it out really quick. Cause this is the lyric that I definitely connect with when it comes to this song. Let me pull it out real quick. Yeah, here it is.
And You're talking me up.
I think that it's just this. Here it is. Here it is. But I know I'm on a losing streak and I'll pass you down by the street. And if you want to show, then just let me know and I'll sing in your ear again. I just think that is such a great lyric. It's a great line. It hits me. I love that image of if I see you on the street, just let if I pass you down by the street and if you want to know, then just let me know and I'll sing. If you want to show, I'll sing in your ear again. I find that just to be a very great lyric. So anyway, I feel like I connect with the song on many multiple levels. And when I hear it, it just, Fix You and all those, it hits me. I find it that And like any other song, as you get older, and you go through different experiences in life, that things just take on different meanings based on, sort of where you're at in life and what you've kind of gone through to that point. So when this song came out in 98, I was a much different, I was in a much different spot in 1998 than I am in 2023. And a lot has happened in that time, right? So now when I hear this song, there's things about it now that hit me differently now than it did in 1998 when this initially came out. So
I respect that so much. And when you're in your hard, it does seem like no matter how hard you're working, sometimes the hole just feels like it's getting deeper. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, you just feel like you're always you can't ever get above things.
Yes.
And so in this song, while it kind of has this like, hey, this doesn't work, but then there's things that like make you feel good. I don't know. It's kind of got two meanings to it.
Well, and sometimes when you're hearing that song in the right time, you're just needing to hear something that says, I mean, it's no solution, but that you're not alone in that.
Yeah.
Like other people feel that same way, and that's how songs become written. And that's how songs become popular, that many people can relate that it's a popular song.
Yeah. I mean, Richard Ashcroft has said, and you probably read the same notes I did, but what he had discussed with songfacts.com is I wrote the song out of love for someone, and that's the way it came out. So when he went into it with that, it's about, it's out of love for someone, and how it came out was drugs don't work and all that. But he said the thought that your love is predestined, and if one of you dies, the thought of your love is predestined, and if one of you dies, you're destined to meet again. And once again, I find that to be a very poignant statement, that there is that possibility of meeting again on the next life, another plane type of thing. And so I find that to be somewhat comforting.
Or very terrifying if you're
or very terrifying at the same time, but
if you're Marcus, him going, I can't do
depending
another
on how
lifetime
you
with that girl.
depending on how you look at it. Yeah. So anyway, I feel like it's a beautiful song, and it hits me, man. It hits me. Okay. I mean, I love that. Even to start all this talk of getting old, it's getting me down. Like it just, it's cool. If no one's ever heard the song, here's a quick bit about it. Here's a quick
little taste.
Little taste of it.
But I know I'm on a losing streak as I pass down my old street.
Great song, man.
And if you want to show, then just let me know, and I'll sing in your ear again.
Great.
Hey, someone would be lying if they've never said they've been on a losing streak.
That's what I'm saying, man. But I know you'll see your face again. I love it.
All right.
Anyway.
So you've talked me up.
We've gotten super emo on this show, by the way, which everybody was expecting.
All right. We have an original score I was going to give of a 3.5.
Okay.
But you have pleaded your case.
Oh, okay.
And you have talked me up to a solid 4.2. 4.2. I feel very strongly about that, listening to your interpretation of it, the feeling behind it, because you created the visual for me.
Well, you're welcome.
So
But it's all true.
Of course. But like the visual of you talking like that was my scene that I needed.
All right. Good. Yeah, and this is when we talk too about like songs that could be used in film, TV, like that visual.
Yes.
I could absolutely see this being in something.
So 4.2, Chris Baglio.
Which I don't think it has been. I'm looking
Interesting.
at it. I don't think it's been anything.
Seems like that seems not right.
At least not here in the United States, because this song wasn't even released as a single here.
Oh, really?
Released as a single in the UK, yeah, and where it charted #1, by the way.
Very good.
Yeah, they only released "Bittersweet Symphony" as a single here in the US off this record, but love it. All right. Oh, so wow, there's a lot of things checking in here. A lot going on with the comment. Let's see what. Oh, no pressure, Amanda. 4.8 for a tie.
Whew.
Whoa.
Whew, when you put it out like that.
Another good tearjerker is Howard Jones' Elegy.
Dave coming in with all
Yeah.
of these suggestions. I cannot wait to dive into them.
Can't wait. All right. So your final song is the classic.
The classic.
Everybody's heard this song, man.
Yeah.
It's How Can You Not? Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin, which some of you may know from the redo or the cover done by Ugly Kid Joe, which is actually a really great. They actually do a fantastic version of this song. Like they really keep it pretty
True.
They do a really solid version of this song if you've never heard it before. So
I
I
don't
highly
think
recommend.
have.
It wasn't like you think Ugly Kid Joe. And yeah, they
No
wrote some
kidding.
like really funny, like, but they did a wonderful, very
Tastefully
respectful,
done.
yeah, really good version of the song that actually
Excellent.
basically put like this. It was of course it was a hit because the song itself is great, but I don't think there's anybody that can't relate to this tune. Especially fathers and sons. I think that obviously it's a very about a father son, but it doesn't have to necessarily be father son. I mean, I think that the story itself is just something honestly that many parents deal with, is that, you know, you always kind of feel like there's going to be time to spend and you always put it off. And I was sort of responsible for this kind of stuff when I was early in my career, trying to run a business and having two small ones at home. And, you know, I felt like I didn't spend enough time with them when they were a certain age. And, you know, and I feel like I've been trying to make up for that over the years as much as I can. And, you know, and now that they're like of the age where they're getting ready to go off on their own, it's like you start to feel like, oh, wow, like this, you know, like it's good. Like you're happy because this is what your job is as a parent, is to raise your children to eventually be able to be independent and live their own lives and start their families and blah, you know, all that. Like that's what you do, you know. But you definitely get to the point now of like, wow, it's, you know, now what is that going to be like when they're out, and am I going to see them, and what is my relationship going to be with my children afterwards, and so on and so forth. So I'm at that point where I'm starting to think a lot about that now. Like, what will life be now with them entering that stage of their lives, you know, which is where, like, my oldest daughter right now is the age I was when I got married to my wife. And while her life is completely different than where mine was, it's fascinating. So I definitely, this song hits also. I've been saying it a lot, but it tells a great story. But I think it's a lot of stuff that almost any parent can relate to when you talk about like that, you know, not spending enough time and then having the role reversed now that the father is older and his son is basically like how he was now, where he doesn't have this relationship with his son, is seeing his son much, and the son, oh, don't worry, Dad, I'll see you next time. We'll see you next time when we catch up. And eventually you run out of next times. So the story behind the song is very lengthy. But essentially what I thought was fun, I didn't know this, so I don't know if you knew this, but one of the bits about the song is that the song is actually based on a poem that Harry's wife, Sandy, wrote. And she told Songfacts.com that Cats in the Cradle was a combination of a couple things. Whenever I was on a long drive, I would listen to country music because words would keep me awake more than just music. As I heard a song, I can remember the story, but I don't remember who sang it, what the title was. But an old couple were sitting at their breakfast table and looking out the window, and they saw a rusted swing and sandbox, and they were reminiscing about the good old days when all the children were around, and then the grandchildren, and how it passed, and now it's all gone. So she basically wrote a poem that then, you know, Harry Chapin wound up basing on, because she was going through the same thing, or, you know, she knows what was happening with Harry Chapin and his kid, you know, and growing up and being, you know, an artist and touring and a working musician and all that. And like the same, you know, so I think for him too, like to kind of sing a song about something that he was actually doing has got to be kind of like, wow, you know, I can only imagine how that must hit. Right. But I think it's a really great song. And while it's kind of heartbreaking, it's also very based on reality. Mm-hmm. And I think it just still holds true, man. Like, it's hard to not relate to this song. It's hard to not relate to it. And it's a beautifully crafted song. I mean, it's catchy, you know, that whole, I mean, you can't, that verse, I mean, the whole chorus of this song is like, how could you not, you know, get into that? I mean, it just, the storytelling of the song is like, you know,
I love a good storytelling.
I know, but it's like,
way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay.
Yeah, see, it's always that stuff.
He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for annuity.
Reality is there's always bills to pay. Like, some of this can't be avoided.
No, I mean, listen, we're parents,
it's
right?
Life,
so we have to.
And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon.
I mean, what a genius way to do a chorus too. Is like taking like those nursery rhymes as you know, as kids, and like weaving it into like a song lyric like that. It's great. It's genius.
So I heard, obviously, as you would have heard the song growing up. I mean, this was a very powerful song and
staple on the radio too.
And it really stuck with me at that age. Like when you're a parent, how quickly time must go. And you have like a chance to get it right or wrong. And I don't want to say this song helped grow me or make me the mom that I am, but I definitely think this song, this message absolutely put it on my heart to be as present as I possibly could with Owen. And I think a lot of dads do get robbed of having more time with their kids than moms. Like, I think that's still a very traditional thing. I think women are more hands-on with their babies than men are, just because that's nature.
Yeah.
They need their mamas. So the connections there are a little bit more than out of necessity even, you know, especially during those first years. But you only have those 18 years. So you have those moments to like show up as much as possible, and you either take them or you don't, and then they're gone. And then it is what it is.
Yeah, it's it's a fact of life. But yeah, I mean, there's things that you do as parents that you have to do. You have to do them because you know, you got to work, right? You got to be able to provide. You got to put food on the table. You got to keep a roof over your head. And so, yeah, a lot of the times that you'd rather be spending with your family, you're spending working or building a business because that's what you do. And when you stop to think about it, it's like, yeah. And this is why too, that like when you do have the time, you got to use the time valuable, right? Time's the one thing we never get back. Once it's spent, it's gone. So much like anybody listening to this podcast, you've spent an hour and 12 minutes listening to us. That time's gone. You're never getting it back, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending, not wasting your time with us. But in all seriousness though, I mean, it's a really great song. And I think once again, anybody can relate to it. Especially, and whether you have children or not, I think you've been, you know, growing up with your parents. I mean, I think you know, so it's a good story. And I could definitely see it's very, very cinematic and all that. And by the way, the Ugly Kid Joe version is very good.
I will listen to it for sure.
I think you will really enjoy it. I think they just do a great version of the song. They don't do anything different really. It's the same. It's the song. It's just the way they do it, you know? Anyway, we're talking about the Harry Chapin Carpenter version, though. So where does this song rank? Is it a tearjerker? Yes, it is. Cats in the Cradle is a song that I hear, and I've heard it so many times that I'm not saying I'm numb to it because it's still, but I don't think that I get as emotional about it as I used to because it's okay. But I've grown up with this song as well. I mean, I've had 49 years of this song. In all honesty, of hearing it, like it probably, you know, this song came out in 1974, the same year I was born, ironically enough. And I've heard it pretty much probably every year since then, more than once. Yeah. But I really like the song. I think it's very well written. And it's on playlists. I mean, I have it on playlists. I think it's one of those tunes, man. So where does it rank? Well, by the way, I like Ian's.
I know.
This is going to be close. I'm hyperventilating.
This does add a different fun element.
It does add a different element with it.
Where we coming? Because
right. So Cats in a Cradle by Harry Chapin. Great song, well written, a classic by my standards. This is a 5-record song. No, and I'm being serious. It is a 5-record song. This is a song that I was actually happy when you put it on here, because it's a song that even though it deals with a heavy subject, I kind of feel very comforting to listen to this song. It feels very lullaby-ish, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's the feeling I get.
For something so heavy, it is very lullaby-ish.
It is very lullaby-ish. I like the song, and I do listen to it. It's not something that I don't just listen. Like, it's in rotation. Fist pump.
All right.
Fist pump.
So let's see here. You have to use my calculator on this because we don't math well.
We don't math
well.
Oh
my gosh, and I keep not clearing it out, so it keeps adding it up. We are a site. Oh man. This is close.
Well, I think you won.
I think by 0.2. Double check my math.
I'm doing it right now.
All right. Came in at 12.5, and I think I came in at 12.7.
So you got a 4.8. You got
a 3.5 and a 4.2. 2 from me to you.
Right. So I gave you a 4.8 or 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you a 3.2.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave you a 5.
Oh man, do you see what a mess we are?
That's a 13.
Someone help us.
All right, you won.
Do you know what this makes me think of? Remember when we did Call and Oates and I couldn't get the number
we did
right?
Call and Oates. All right, so you gave me a 4.8, a
3.5,
a 3.5,
and a 4.2,
and a 4.2. Yeah, 12.5. So you won. You won by 0.5.
I had it down for 0.2, but I went to win.
Whatever, you won. So you get bragging rights. As everybody right now who's watching us live and the people listening to recording are like screaming, like, what is wrong with you two? simple basic math, people. You guys got to get it together.
This is why
Go back to school.
Music.
This is why we talk about music. We're the ones that picked our rating systems, though. Like, and then we start doing percentages and stuff. What is wrong with us?
Sometimes we need the decimals, though, because it's not quite a 5, but it's definitely not just a 4.
All right, so you are the victor of this week's Song Swap.
And painful.
And you get bragging rights for the week. Congratulations, Amanda Sharp. You're the winner of Song Swap Showdown.
It was the Cats in the Cradle.
Thank you, Ian. Ian's doing the math for us. Thank you. 12.7 and Chris is 12.5. Numbers songs next week. So numbers songs.
Songs. All right. So from this episode, I wrote down just for ideas.
Okay.
We should do Australian artists because Ian's coming in.
I know he's so many great recommendations
on Australian artists, which I think would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And then Dave came in with, and it's kind of what the show was, like the Stump Each Other one. Like a Stump Each Other episode. So maybe that, like, we go hard looking for 3 songs we really have not ever heard before.
I don't think that's going to be that hard, but then again, I don't know. Because I don't listen to a ton of country, so but it has to be the songs, like the songs.
Yes. So let's see, or maybe we gamify that a little bit more, and it's a little bit different of the Stump Each Other.
Okay.
And then a numbers episode. I think that is great.
Love this live brainstorming right now.
Whew. Got them all written down. We're set through summer.
plus the ones we were going to do.
Absolutely. We're good through summer. I love it.
We're good through the summer. Love it. Oh, wow. Well, what a tearful episode.
Tears of laughter.
Tears of laughter. No, this was a lot of fun. And once again, this all came about because of to thank Ted Lasso, season finale of Ted Lasso, for inspiring today's episode, all due to him using Cat Stevens' Father and Son, which, by the way, I just want to say, if you watch any Wes Anderson films, he does great soundtracks, and he uses a lot of Cat Stevens stuff, but he has a great way of really tying great songs to like match the emotion of what's going on a scene. So, but yeah, for me, I thought the Ted Lasso finale was a 5 out of 5, by the way.
Nice.
So I don't know if anybody else that there watches it agrees or disagrees, but that's my take on it. After this being a very uneven season, for me, they brought it home. So thank you, Ted Lasso. Thank you, Cat Stevens.
Bravo.
For inspiring today's
Bravo.
episode. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with us live here today. And thanks for everybody who's checking out the replay of this, whether you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else it's being replayed or anywhere you get podcasts. We really appreciate you. Thanks for spending some time with us today. A few things that you could do to help us out, if you'd be so gracious enough, is to hit that follow button wherever you're listening to the show or watching us. And also, if you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that we get notified every single time we drop a new episode or videos of the show over on YouTube. If you are following us there, we not only drop full episodes of the show, but we also do highlights, music video reactions, and we also post shorts there. So we're very active over there. And of course, over on our Instagram and TikTok, we're also posting lots and lots of content is there as well. So please follow us there. And of course, yes, if you'd like to follow the podcast, hit that follow button, especially over there on Spotify, because it helps. It helps anywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It helps the channel grow. And of course, if there's any other creators that you love supporting, whether it's on a podcast or YouTube, make sure you follow and subscribe to them as well, because it does help their channels grow. It's one of the single most important things you could do to help support your favorite creators, other than giving them money, which you can do for us too. You can tip us, go to our campsite.bio or buy me a coffee. Feel free to support us, because every little bit does help. People like Dave Mattingly are great supporters of the show from that way. So Dave, we appreciate you each and every month for contributing to the show and being a VIP member. And you can also join our Facebook group, which is free to join, free to participate in. You can use that link in our notes. It's a Facebook. It's the Song Swap Showdown backstage group. Please join us there, where we post all kinds of comments and all kinds of fun posts and all that. And you have a voice. You can influence the show, what we're doing, giving us song picks. People drop all kinds of great stuff in there all the time. So please join that. It is free to do. It's a great way. We have an ever-growing community over there. And we're just so appreciative of all of you. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. Amanda Sharp, any final words?
What a good show. We didn't break down and cry.
Mm-mm.
We didn't.
We did not.
We did not. We stayed strong.
We're very professional today.
No, it was fun. So glad we do this every single Monday. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have an amazing week.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ian, Dave, and Curious Idealist, Angel, and anybody else that was hanging out with us live today. We appreciate you. We will see you all next week on another episode of Song Swap Showdown. Everybody, have an amazing week. See you soon. To get notified every single time we drop a new episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown, just hit that follow button wherever you get your podcasts. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the show, please use the email address in our show notes and we'll get right back to you. And last but not least, please feel free to follow us over on our social accounts on Instagram and TikTok at Song Swap Showdown, or join our ever-growing community in our Facebook group by using the link in our show notes. Thanks for listening.